Personal use of campaign funds, an online presentation of the FEC's Information Division. Under the Federal Election Campaign Act, campaigns generally have wide discretion over how they spend the contributions they collect. Certain activities, however, are subject to the federal campaign finance law. For example, the law limits the amount that you may contribute and prohibits certain people and organizations from making contributions. The law also requires public disclosure of certain campaign finance information. However, personal use of campaign funds is prohibited. The Act and Commission regulations define personal use to include any use of campaign funds to fulfill a commitment, obligation, or expense of any person that would exist irrespective of the candidate's campaign or responsibilities as a federal officeholder. Put more simply, an expense that would exist even if the individual was not a candidate or officeholder cannot be paid with campaign funds. The Act and regulations specifically identify several expenses that fall into that category, including personal clothing purchases, mortgage rent and utility payments, household food items and supplies, country club or health club memberships, tuition payments, and admission to a sporting event, concert, theater, or other form of entertainment not associated with the campaign or officeholder event. In addition to those expenses that are automatically considered prohibited personal use, the Commission considers certain other expenses on a case-by-case basis through its advisory opinion process. These include using campaign funds for meals, travel, vehicle expenses, and legal fees. If you have an expense that falls into any of these case-by-case categories, or are uncertain whether campaign funds can be used for a particular payment, you may want to request an advisory opinion, or an AO. In AOs, the Commission applies the law to a specific set of circumstances. The requester and others in a materially indistinguishable situation may rely on the opinion for legal guidance. In recent years, the Commission has issued several important AOs regarding the use of campaign funds. For example, the Commission has issued several advisory opinions that permit campaign funds to be used to pay for childcare when the need for childcare is a direct result of campaign activity. The Commission has also recently approved the use of campaign funds for various security upgrades for members of Congress who face increased risks as a result of their duties as a federal officeholder. The Commission has also approved the use of campaign funds to pay candidates a salary during the campaign, subject to certain restrictions. Those restrictions, which are codified in FEC regulations, limit the amount of the salary to the lesser of 50% of the minimum annual salary for the member of the House of Representatives or the candidate's averaged earned income over the 5 most recent income-earning years. The payments must be calculated at a daily rate, and the amount must be reduced by an income received during candidacy. Salary payments can begin when the candidate files a statement of candidacy or an FEC Form 2 with the FEC, and must stop no later than 20 days after the candidacy ends. Campaign salary payments are not available to incumbents. That concludes our brief overview of the rules on the use of campaign funds. Remember, while a campaign generally has wide discretion over how to spend its funds, they cannot be used for expenses that would exist irrespective of an individual's candidacy or duties as a federal officeholder. The Federal Election Commission is committed to encouraging compliance with the federal campaign finance laws. In addition to the information we provide on our website, we maintain a toll-free information line you can call for help. We respond promptly to questions sent by email, and we conduct conferences throughout the country, host webinars on a variety of topics, and post e-learning videos like this one on our website and YouTube channel. We encourage you to make use of these resources and look forward to serving you.